This should be the joke of the century, right? Uh, a news just came out. A news just came out about Dana White trying to make an event at the White House, which was orchestrated by Donald Trump, which is the current president of the United States of America. I'm not talking about America. I'm here to talk about the White House and the UFC, their collaboration. And in that collaboration, there are some fighters that was requested by the president, Donald Trump. We all know that Donald Trump and this propaganda, everything he does, most of the thing he does is mainly politics. They're actually politics. And I can't tell you now that most of these presidents you see online or president of the world, they do something because they want to do it. Most of them are doing it for their own benefit so that they could be able to be voted for in the next regime. So I'm not here, like I said, to talk about Donald Trump and his propaganda. I'm here to talk about the UFC, which is what we have today and which is why I have this channel. Videos of sport, anything sport that make the headline. Like I said, there is this thing that Dana White is collaborating with the USA president, Donald Trump, to be able to make a fight at the White House, a pay-per-view at the White House. And in that pay-per-view, there were names mentioned, like I said. And two of those names mentioned are Jon Jones and the one and only Conor McGregor. This should be the joke of the century, right? This should be the joke of the century because we have already been waiting for these two people to fight 3 or 4 years ago. Yes, Jon Jones came out and fought Cyril Gane, surprisingly defeated Cyril Gane in the first round. While we are still waiting for Conor McGregor, and we are according to what UFC had with Conor McGregor and still has, he has 2 fights contract left. I think 1 or 2, I don't remember. So he has to fight or he terminates his contract, which I already had the other day in the bare knuckle interview. He's fighting Mike Perry on October. So what's the contract between UFC and McGregor? I don't understand. But what really interests me is that Donald Trump asked for Conor McGregor and Jon Jones to be present in that pay-per-view. So the big question is this: do you guys agree, or do you guys believe that Jon Jones and Conor McGregor are going to come back and fight in this world we live in? Remember, even let's put a word that 2 of them come back and fight. Yes? Who do you think is going to fight the both of them? Do you think, okay, Jon Jones, do you think Jon Jones, Thomas Pinol, who is currently the world heavyweight champion, is going to leave everything and fight Jon Jones? If Thomas Pinol has ego, if Thomas Pinol has that self-respect, I won't fight Jon Jones. We all know that the UFC is the one in charge here. Dana White is the one in charge here. But to be honest with you, I won't fight Jon Jones. Because I had the opportunity to fight him when he was a champion. He didn't accept the fight with me. Why would I want to fight him now that I am the world heavyweight champion? Just because of Donald Trump asked for fights? If you want to see Jon Jones fight, give him Alex Pereira, which he requested for a long time. And why Thomas Pinot fight somebody else? Now you want to bring, because Donald Trump is asking for this, now you want to put the UFC. We haven't even asked here. We haven't even asked Jon Jones who he wants to face, because Jon Jones, as we are, is not going to face Thomas Pinot, even if you put that on his table at the moment. Because as we speak, Jon Jones doesn't want to face Thomas Pinot. He doesn't want that smoke. He's a young, hungry blood who has waited 3 or 3 years, wasted 2 or 3 years at the sideline waiting for this fight. Thomas Pinot could have fought Cyril Gane in the space of 2 years. Thomas Pinot should have fought this guy that just fought last weekend. Thomas Pinot should have fought many of these fighters, Volkov, and the rest goes on. There are a lot of UFC heavyweights there that are waiting for fights. But Thomas Pinot could have defended that belt 2 to 3 times. But what did he do? He waited for Jon Jones, and he has spent 2 years sidelined. And now, just all because of Donald Trump requested for a fight, for a pay-per-view, we want to bring Jon Jones. So the problem now, who will Jon Jones face? Because if Thomas Pinot come out and face him, I won't understand that. Although Jon Jones is a big name, he's the greatest of all time when it comes to mixed martial artists. We gave him that. But here is self-respect. Except Thomas Pinot decide to fight him. That is his own cup of tea. But for me, I wouldn't even, if I was his manager, I wouldn't even want that thing to be even be negotiated with me. He should go and look for someone else to fight while I fight somebody else, which is worthy and wants to fight with me. Except the UFC has nobody for Thomas Pinot. Then I will start thinking, okay, let's me negotiate with Jon Jones, but on my own terms. And anything I said must happen, or else we don't get that fight. They should go find somebody else. While Conor McGregor, who is everywhere, Conor McGregor is everywhere. He's in bare knuckle, he's in boxing, he's in this. Today you see him in the pitch playing football, tomorrow you see him all this way. Yes, he's having his own fun. But now, because of this pay-per-view, he wants to be there. There's this potential fight with Michael Chandler. Chandler is somebody who is on the downhill at the moment. 1 or 2 fights left is going to leave the UFC. Because he has been losing. He has lost his last 4 to 5 fights, I think. We are not saying that fight is not a big fight. It's a big fight. Even Conor McGregor requested that fight in the White House. So this is what we are saying here. That's okay. Conor McGregor now wants to come back to face Michael Chandler at the White House. And when is this White House pay-per-view taking place? Next year. Even Dana White has not even confirmed the date. He hasn't even confirmed the date here. And we are now talking about White House, Conor McGregor, Jon Jones coming in. Honestly, I think this is just bullshit. Forgive my words, but this is just absolutely nonsense. Because if it's, let's say in the world that this happens, which Dana White is kind of negotiating with the American president, is then negotiating with his own team and everything, that this is surely must going to happen. Let's say this happened now. Are you sure that these 2 people will be trustworthy to even to make it into the pay-per-view? Remember what made Conor McGregor leave the last event he had with Michael Chandler? Because of pinky toe. And this was 2 years ago. And since then, we haven't heard of Conor McGregor. I don't know if you guys are really interested. I really need to know your opinion on this topic, because this White House of 18 and Conor McGregor and Jon Jones coming back to the UFC, it doesn't excite me. There's nothing those 2 things don't excite me. What excites me are the current fights coming up. There is Max Holloway against Dustin Poirier this weekend. The next pay-per-view is going to be Khamzat against DDP. Then we're talking of Islam Makhachev against JDM. And there is a fight. There are fights going on and on. So there are exciting things when it comes to the UFC. Although they've lost star powers. Acceptable, agreed. But one thing is very sure. You see this UFC pay-per-view that's going to happen in White House. For me, it doesn't excite me that much. I don't know if it excites you. Do you believe that Conor McGregor and Jon Jones are going to be back up, are going to be there for that event? And also, do you think, are you even excited to see those 2 come back to fight? And who are they even going to fight if they accept? Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be watching you. I'll be watching the comments down below. Guys, I appreciate the love you guys show to me in this channel. Listen, we are trying to make this channel better again. We are improving. Everything is improving. We're going to keep getting you content, more videos, and everyday consistency. I really want to know what you want me to put on the next video, what you want me to talk about on the next video. Guys, it's not my channel, it's your channel. Let's make this great. Until next time, peace.